What in the world are all of these gnomes up to? Like, this is the question I asked myself for an hour straight as I read through Game of Gnomes. Hi everyone, my name is Holly and today we are going to see if I can break my novella curse. Yes, a curse. We are being very dramatic over here. If you don't know what a novella is, well, I got you covered. It's basically a short-length story around 100 pages. It can either be a complete story on its own or it adds on to a bigger series. I have yet to love a novella and I am so happy to say that I am working with Critical Tale to bring you this video today, who is giving me a chance to try and break my 3-star novella streak. Did it happen? Let's find out. So I like long books. Let's just put it out there plainly. As a fantasy reader, look behind me, I love getting completely immersed in a book for a really long time. I like having to be introduced to the story, the characters, and then spending seemingly forever with them while I watch everything slowly unfold. Well, with novellas, they're just too short for me. There's not enough time for me to get invested. Either I have a problem getting invested at all, or as soon as I do get invested, it's time for the book to end. There is just simply not enough room for that slow build-up that I love so much. It's just too quick, too shallow, or just not satisfying enough. Which brings in Game of Gnomes, the Necronomicon by MJ Northwood. So even my boyfriend Darren, when he saw this book, he was like, wow, I need to read this. This is fantastic. He's a very funny guy himself, so this just made him chuckle. So as has been evident from the start, the cover, the title, this is a book that revels in its own complete absurdity. You can't blame me for wanting to read this freaking book. I don't take anything as seriously as I probably should, and this book definitely doesn't either. We are following 3 gnomes, Gassy, Bordy, and Turdlet. Just let that sink in for a moment. And they are on a mission. They are to compete in what is known as the Crimicon. It's a large gathering of thieves, killers, just all around not so helpful people to compete in a competition all against this evil corporation. And things get a little weirder still when you arrive and are thrust into a heist with these gnomes and all of their comedic circumstances. With its not so serious presentation, quirky characters, and fun plot ensured, I was in for the whole ride, even if the writing felt a little bit haphazard at times. It is jam-packed full of charm and humor. It's kind of difficult to tell by looking at the cover, but this is a story-driven adventure book with a surprising amount of depth and character development, and does manage to tell a solid story. I mean, are you surprised? It would be very easy at first glance to dismiss Game of Gnomes as a gimmick-filled children's story with nothing to say. But this is full of adult humor that can easily flip over to, I guess, the darker spectrum sometimes, or a lot of the time. There are melancholy moments and serious subjects, so keep that in mind. That's definitely not to say that there aren't a whole lot of laughs to be had as well, and this book is genuinely funny on many occasions, and it does a great job of consistently freshening things up over the course of its quest, and its main quest does a good job of introducing new ideas frequently enough to maintain interest. So I definitely enjoyed the bulk of the journey. It tells a tightly written tale that reaches a satisfying conclusion without ever taking too many risks on a storytelling level. I mean, I didn't expect it to. Look how short it is. I just wanted to laugh. It's short but sweet, and like its stubby characters, stashes its most impactful moments away until the end, just before becoming tired. Sometimes too much comedy can get dry, and it sort of got to that point for me, with having to pay really close attention to pick out all of the puns and subtle references, and that is probably more of a personal preference, but mostly I was compelled to explore this little adventure purely in order to read all the funny interactions with its quirky inhabitants. So overall, it's the unabashed nonsense of a Game of Gnomes that kept me interested throughout. It could so easily have been a stodgy, repetitive drudge of actions without any desire to see where it all leads, but I did want to know what was going to happen. It stays true to its comedic principles, and just when you think you've worked out its story, it throws another left turn your way. Perhaps a donkey who gets mistaken for a hot woman. Yes, that does happen, and yes, I spat out my drink. Despite some writing issues I had, the laughs outnumbered the groans significantly, as I found myself surprisingly invested in the events of the heist and competition and the evil lurking in the midst of it all. And in the end, I ended up giving this one 3 out of 5 stars. I still very much recommend it, but unfortunately I did not break my novella curse. This was a very fast, entertaining read that was a nice break from all of the very dark material that I read pretty much daily. But if you would like to check out Game of Gnomes yourself, I will leave a link down below for you, as well as a coupon code so you can get it for an even cheaper price. You can use my code HollyK on their website to get 20% off a digital copy. Go ahead and give this video a big thumbs up if you enjoyed, because it helps me out so much, and subscribe if you haven't. I upload videos every single week. Follow me on Instagram at HollyHeartsBooks and on Twitter at HollyNiece, and until we meet again, happy reading.